So I guess first of all I wanted to say adding and subtracting of rational expressions works just like adding and subtracting, normal numbers. If your denominator, like in this case, is the same, then you know how to add this. That would be 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 over 3, or in this case would end up to be 1. If you were asked to add 5 sevenths and 1 seventh, you would get 6 sevenths. So first of all, you got to have a common denominator, and in this case it was given, and then you just sum the total values. Now, as you know, life isn't quite that simple in all cases, and so the denominator isn't always or rarely is the same. And so just like in a, well, let's stay simple then. So let's say I say 2 over 5x and add it to 3 plus x over 5x. Because the denominators are equal, I will have the same denominator here. And then I combine like terms. 2 and 3 make 5 plus x. And again, the temptation is always to start to simplify things, to maybe say, ooh, look, I can cancel these x's, no, or the 5's, no. Remember that this thing is connected as one solid unit. Now, if you could factor something out of there, then maybe that would be an okay thing, but you can't, so don't. It would be like saying x plus 1 over x minus 3 added to, x plus 7 over x minus 3. Again, because the denominators are the same, then you are able to just keep moving along. You would add the groups together, 2x plus 8 over x minus 3. Now here you might pull out a 2 because you get x plus 4 over x minus 3. Now I pulled out a 2 to see if something could cancel, but nothing really can, so I think this would be the final result of this. These are just two examples of rational expressions when you have a common denominator. It looks different than normal ones, but that's how it works. Let me show you how you would work with a common denominator that isn't the same. So let's say we had x over 6x, and let's say we had 6 over 5x. Now if you notice that our denominators are not the same, and you can see how if we multiplied this side by x top and bottom, we would obtain the same denominator. We'd have 6x and a 6x. And so that's what we would do. And you would get 3 plus 5x squared all over 6x. Or if we had something like x plus 1 over x minus 3, and let's say we had 5 over like a 3 here. Now, this one's a little trickier to work out. We would need to multiply this side by 5, top and bottom. And over here, we would want to multiply this side by x minus 3, top and bottom. Now, what that does is creates the same denominator, which is perfect. And so we would just keep doing the math. So here we would multiply out the 5 times x plus 1, so you get 5x plus 5. And then, again, this is all over, the 5x minus 3. And then we would do this distribution here, and we would get 3x minus 9. And now we would combine things. I'm running out of space here, so I might just jump up here to do it. We got 8x. 5 minus 9 is minus 4, all over 5 times x minus 3. And so this would be kind of our final answer. Again, grouping like terms, these two group, and then these two group here. And it works out just the same as as the way adding and subtracting normal fractions would work. Just a little more interesting in terms of that. Let me show you one more example, but with a subtraction. In this case, the denominators are pretty close, but one has a 2 in it, so we would want to multiply this side by a 2, top and bottom. So I'm going to do that. And in doing so, what you have to be careful of is that really you're multiplying by a -2. So as you do this, you'd get 3 minus 2x minus 6. Now that's where I need you to pay close attention. Here, minus 2 times x is minus 2x, and minus 2 times 3 is minus 6. And so that's a very important piece of the puzzle. And then we would group those together. So 3 minus 6 is minus 3 minus 2x, all over 2 times x minus 1, and this would be our final solution. The key is to keep an eye on the fact that this got multiplied in to obtain the minus 2x and the minus 6. Rational expressions, adding and subtracting, work just like you would fractions. If you follow those rules, things will move along nicely.